In my 1 o'clock video, I talked about this little bit from Bill O'Reilly on News Nation the other night with Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith. And of course, it was about MSDNC. Well, what I forgot to talk about in that video is what we're going to be talking about here, and that is The View.
ABC News is going to have to cut ties with The View. And you saw that today or yesterday when Sunny Hostin had to read a legal statement in the middle of a segment. The lawyers get Whoopi Goldberg's ear, and it said, we're bringing a statement in on a teleprompter. She reads it. So it is over for these far left networks. Done, never coming back. Dracula's stake in the heart. Who benefits? News Nation may, but CNN, which is on the ropes too, will probably get some MSNBC viewers. Wow. There you go.
What do you think of that? Well, I'm certainly not going to accuse him of not making.
If you watch the 1 o'clock video, then you will see that NBC at this moment in time is trying to decouple away from MSNBC. Of course, we call it MSDNC from time to time because that's pretty much what the hell it is. But still at the same time, what about The View? What happens to the cackling old hens at The View? Well, let me play you guys 14 seconds from a segment that was on Monday. And you tell me if you think something is about to happen at The View.
What we're all saying is we're going to sit and watch. We're going to wait and see because we can't do anything else except...
I'm not going to wait and see. I mean, this guy is told us he's a retribution. He's going to be a dictator.
There's nothing to be done until you know what you're fighting.
Now, real quick, that was 14 seconds of a segment that lasted roughly 4 minutes that I've edited down to... roughly 2 minutes that we'll get into here in a second. Now, the reason why I play that for you guys is because it's kind of an open secret at this moment in time that The View is looking for a more pro-Trumpian guest to be on the show. I mean, they do have a conservative, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and sometimes when I say Alyssa Farah Griffin, sometimes it comes off sounding like Alyssa Farah Griffin, so please bear with me really quick. But Alyssa Farah Griffin is more of the Never Trump mold. She's basically a good old-fashioned Never Trumper. I think she voted for Harris this time around. Actually, we know she voted for Harris. And, of course, they have Anna Navarro's fat ass up there from time to time, and we all know how batshit crazy that woman is. But, of course, this is kind of a staple of The View. Get a person who's not really a base conservative to go up there so that way they can either, A, join in the hate or, how do I say this, not really provide much of a fight back, not much of a fight. Meghan McCain was notorious for that. She went on that show. She was there for about 3 or 4 years. She didn't fight back not one damn time. Don't get me started on Meghan McCain. The last person they had up there that I think actually fought back, actually challenged him, I think was Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who then would make her way to Fox and Friends for roughly 2 years, and then we haven't seen her since. Don't get me started on that. I have no idea what the hell is going on there, and don't get me lying on that. But still, the point is this right here. The View, like MSDNC, is viewed as absolutely hateful. I mean, what was it right after the election that Alyssa Farah Griffin told Sunny Hostin, told the entire panel that, yeah, you know, we're starting to lose Hispanics? Do you guys remember this?
We talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, my gosh, it's Whoopi.
And the reaction from Sunny Hostin was to say misogyny. Guys, there's a little compilation that I've got for you guys here that I'm going to play for you guys really quick. And it's a compilation of legal notes. All right? Legal notes. Because The View has had to issue out, it had to read a lot of legal notes over the past, like, 8 or 9 years. Because they get crap wrong all the time and they attack people maliciously. Let me roll this for you.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo that his past donation played any role in her office's decision to not take legal action against Trump University when she was, of course, the Attorney General of Florida.
Oh. I do have a quick legal note.
You got to milk this cow.
Yes, I have a legal note.
Do you have a legal note?
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented. and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Oh, I do. Wow, another one. I have 2 legal notes. Ginny denied any conflict of interest between her activism and her husband's work on the Supreme Court.
I just got a note. We have to clarify that Santos eventually reached a plea deal after pleading guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft.
Is that a legal note? What a nice legal
Kind of. All right. Kind of.
Well, she doesn't love him at night.
That's my legal notes. But let me say this very quickly. Ginny Thomas has denied any conflict of interest between her activism and her husband's. Has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That's true.
Also, another legal note. Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
That's interesting. Pay off the witness. Okay, here's some good news.
Work.
You got a
Illegal.
I have a legal note. Trump denied Esper's claims about wanting to shoot protesters.
Part of that was also the legal note, of course, involving Matt Gaetz, who would eventually withdraw his nomination or withdraw from the nomination for Attorney General. But also there was another one involving Pete Hegseth. This right is a time where you're going to be hearing all kinds of crazy things about potential nominees, about potential appointees, stuff like that. So go ahead and get ready for it. I'm going to try to cover as many of them as I can over the course of the rest of the year. But as I've said before, and I'll continue to go in more detail on Wednesday, some stuff is about to happen here. So it's going to be some changes that are going to be going on the next year. But still, though, getting back on track. This right here is just very, very, very bad behavior. And it's got some people, and of course, some of those people at ABC who also remember the debate with David Muir, basically, don't get me started on David Muir and the Trump-Harris debate. It's got a lot of people wondering exactly what's going to happen to ABC, especially given the fact that Trump now has an incentive to get a much, much more hardline chair to the FCC. That Federal Communications Chairman, he may be wanting an inquiry into the liberal media, which I actually believe that there should be an inquiry into liberal media. As a matter of fact, I believe there should be an inquiry into all of our mainstream media. We need to know exactly who's telling the truth and who's bought, who's paid off, who's trustworthy, who's not trustworthy. Even though we can kind of sort of see with our own eyes who is, but then again, at the same time, you have no idea who the hell these journalists are being paid by. You know, I keep on saying this over and over and over again, that the left, they oftentimes accuse you of what it is that they are guilty of. They've called Donald Trump, they've called Trump voters, they've called Fox News, they've called Tucker Carlson, they've called every conservative commentator out there a Russian propaganda agent. It makes you wonder if maybe there is Russian propaganda going on, except it's in the form of MSDNC, ABC, CBS, and whatever liberal media, left-wing YouTubers there are out there. Just making an observation.
Agree?
All right.
I think that I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America? I think what is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate.
Yeah, Sonny, even California experienced a big, big red shift because of that venom you spew every day, hon. You're accusing Trump of divisiveness, yet here you are doing exactly what it is that you accuse others of doing. This is the left, my friends. And just an extremely hateful, venomous person, too. Guys, just listen to the visceral that comes from Sonny Hostin's mouth after they lost the election. And then, of course, pay attention to Joy Behar, because I had to kind of put her in this clip, too. I had to edit it. But also something else, too. Alyssa Farrah Griffin, the Never Trumper, is doing everything she can to try to bring these cackling hens back down to reality. Let's also not forget that these people have kind of sort of partaken in the whole don't spend the holidays with your Trump voting family. Kind of like what Joy Reid did. I'm showing you guys in the B-roll footage. I don't think I need to play that again, but of course, it's that type of nonsense that's led to MSNBC basically being put on the chopping block. It's that type of nonsense there that's led to Rachel Madcow being forced to renegotiate her $30 million contract down to $5 million and only working 1 day a week. I mean, thank God. I mean, we don't want to look at her or anything, and quite frankly, I don't think she should get paid that much money. But still, at the same time, though, it's this type of stuff right here that brings down companies and organizations, which I find to be absolutely hilarious, absolutely funny that's happening to really, to tell you the truth, nice bunch of people, if you ask me. Obviously, I'm kidding. It couldn't have happened to a greater bunch, is what I meant to say. The fact of the matter is, the liberal media in this country is dead. But The View, on the other hand, they're going to have to try to find a way to survive. So go back to what Bill O'Reilly said at the very beginning. They're going to be on the chopping block. People are saying, look, we don't want nothing to do with Trump's brand new FCC chair. We don't want to be investigated like CBS. Now, guys, I'm going to get to that more thoroughly here in a second, but there is one more thing that I want to cover. And that, of course, is what Bill Maher was talking about the other night, because it kind of goes hand in hand, or let's just say that what Bill Maher was talking about the other night during his monologue about what exactly the mainstream media is trying to tell people to do this holiday season. And, of course, you're not seeing any type of difference from The View. However, there is a difference, though. It seems to me that somebody may have been listening to what Bill had to say, but let me play it for you guys real quick.
Psychiatric resident at Yale University, Amanda Calhoun, recently told Joy Reid it's okay to cut off family members if they voted for Trump and tell them, I'm not going to be around you this holiday. Oh, how pure. It's like not letting certain people sit with you on the bus.
Now, before I play that, I said that it seems to me like somebody may have been listening. Who was listening? Well, let's watch the first half of this and come back on the other half, and obviously you guys will see that there are some people who have decided to adhere to this advice, or at least the advice that would keep these people from losing their jobs, because realistically they don't really have anywhere to go after The View. I'll explain that in a minute too. But of course, there is one person on the panel whose head just completely explodes. But we'll get that in a second.
What has been? I'm going to wait and see. He's not been sworn in yet. I'm somebody who probably agrees with 75% of his policies. If he focuses on creating jobs, on bringing down the cost of living, securing the border in a responsible way, and being tough on America's adversaries, I'm all for it. What doesn't mean we're not going to call balls and strikes when he does things that are beyond the pale, or he uses words that are offensive to people, then be ready to call that out. But I just think I'm kind of shying away from this sort of apocalyptic, it's all, we need to be like losing sleep over it. The American system of government is strong. It's held. There are checks and balances, even if my party's in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And I think we should I root for America, so I root for a smart, serious Donald Trump presidency.
Okay, so you heard all that dribble from Melissa Farrah Griffin, and I've been saying, and don't think for one second that I'm saying that we should forgive her or anything like that there. I'm saying I'd watch her. But then again, I did say that a lot of these never-Trumpers were going to start to come back down to reality. They will. Trust me, they will. But still, though, does not mean you just let them off the hook for being the way they are, or joining in and attacking you. Keep them at 1 arm's distance, all right? It's like I always say, you forgive your enemies, but you always remember their names. The reason why you do that, so that way you can move on, because that's kind of sort of the way it is. I don't want to make this video about forgiveness or anything, but I'm bringing this up obviously for a reason, because obviously somebody has gotten into these girls' ears and told them that, you might want to change your tune. Except for Anna Navarro, on the other hand, you could tell by Sonny Hostin's body language, she is angered at the prospect that she needs to do the whole wait-and-see approach.
I think what we're all saying is we're going to sit and watch. We're going to wait and see, because we can't do anything else except...
I'm not going to wait and see. I mean, this guy's told us he's a retribution. He's going to be a dictator.
There's nothing to be done until you know what you're fighting. It's pissing in the wind doesn't help. You just get a wet face.
But what I'm saying is I have no false expectations that at 78 he's going to all of a sudden turn into another human being. And I'm not going to spend. I spent weeks telling people that he was apocalyptic. I'm not going to change now, because it's still the same man.
Not treating every single thing like
I think that's when we lose credibility.
Well, here's the thing. You lose credibility in many different ways. If you don't know what you're talking about and you accuse him of something, then they're going to blow it back. That's why I say we need to wait and see exactly what you're going to do.
Nothing Whoopi said there was wrong. You might want to just wait and sit back. Now, like I said, they're probably doing this because they've been told, we're getting tired of all the legal notes. We're getting tired of all the BS. We're getting sick and tired of all the heat that's coming in on our network, all the complaints. And we don't like the idea that there's an FCC chair coming in who looks like he actually wants to clean up the media and kind of stop us from pushing a BS agenda. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But the thing is this right here. Anna Navarro, her reaction tells me everything you need to know. It's almost like she's exposing that it's nothing more than a great big giant script for these people to read, and she can't read anything. She can't come up with anything else outside the Trump hate that she's produced for the past 8 years, which tells me that it's kind of real on her end. But Whoopi and everybody else, they understand that obviously it's talking points that for the most part have been given to them by white people. The point is this right here. Obviously, somebody got in these ladies' ears. Now, something else, too, that needs to be said is that everybody, regardless whether you're side one or not, needs to kind of sort of take the approach of, let's root for America. Let's see America succeed, rather than just going ahead and going after the person that you claim to hate and the people that voted for the guy. I don't buy this right here for 1 second. I believe that the lawyers, the attorneys got into these girls' ears and they told them flat out, you need to shut the hell up. You need to take a different approach because ABC is going to suffer as a result of all this hatred and all this discontent. That right there is what the hell I think happened in this case. But if you guys watched the first video that I did, the video at 1 o'clock on MSNBC, chances are you remember the segment from the Patrick Bet-David podcast that I played that detailed the numbers. However, there was a small 2 or 3 minute segment before that discussed the View. Let's roll this.
How excited she says to read this.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Why did she look like she was going to cry
Tom,
when she read that?
why did she have to read that?
Because of 2 things. First, Gaetz went hard to the hoop with his lawyers and went after ABC. And that was the best that they could get them to read. It should have been more than that. It should have been more of an apology. But Gaetz went hard to the hoop and said, no charges were filed against me. And there's a thing in media about absence of malice. Is one of the things we talk about with Will Cain. They had malice. They were absolutely mean-spirited and hateful going after Matt Gaetz.
Basically, as a journalist, as a media outlet, it's essentially absence of malice. Please correct me, somebody who knows a little bit more. I know about it, but my explanation of it's kind of jacked up, all right? And I'm not very good at memorizing stuff. But basically what it is that you can criticize anybody you want as long as there's no actual, honest-to-God, malice behind it. Like you're some serious criticism, critique, you can be angry or whatever, but it depends on the actual intent of said criticism. Now, I don't think I need to go through all the harsh criticism that's been laid at the Trump administration, the first Trump administration, the Trump campaign, and the lack of criticism at Biden. But still at the same time, though, what these ladies at The View do every single day is just pure meanness and hatred. I mean, you could see it in their facial expressions. You could see it in their body language. And I even talked about this in a previous video about Sunny Hostin and the venom that courses through her veins and the venom that, quite frankly, comes out of her mouth. This right here is who the hell these people are, but let Tom finish up.
And they got caught, and Gaetz went after them. The second reason they said it is because the ABC attorneys know that Trump is about to name the head of the FCC because he's president. And the head of the FCC has already said that he is going to review CBS and 60 Minutes for the way they edited a presidential candidate interview in the name of campaigning versus straight, honest, neutral news.
And that, my friends, is the overall point of this entire discussion. The View, they are on thin ice. They are on extremely thin ice. This is not like MSNBC, where you have certain people on MSNBC being forced to restructure their contract and take pay cuts, and some people eventually getting fired. ABC is probably not going to do that right away. However, ABC is probably looking at their news division and looking at The View. And Milo Yiannopoulos the other night in his bit on the Timcast IRL, he actually explained this beautifully. I'll link the episode in the description box, that The View actually still falls very, very much in the news realm of ABC News. Of course, ABC News at one point in time, and I still watch them from time to time, Good Morning America, because I kind of grew up on Good Morning America. The truth be told is ABC News, they don't want to go down the exact same way that NBC does not want to go down, because obviously MSDNC is a part of their brand that's been sinking their entire company. ABC, on the other hand, they're looking at The View and they're saying, we can still survive if you ladies here do us all a favor and shut the hell up. Meaning maybe you should take a wait-and-see approach before spewing out all that hatred and venom. But that leads me to the last point. But are these cackling hens, like, what is their use beyond the view? Whoopi, Carol Johnson, has kind of tarnished her name. She's probably not going to be in any movies. By the way, you know that it's all mostly false bravado when she talks about conservatives because she's extremely good friends with Mel Gibson. I remember when Mel Gibson, the last time he got in trouble, Whoopi Goldberg was actually one of the first people to defend him. He's probably disgusted at what Whoopi has become, but still at the same time, but he also knows that she's reading a script. However, I don't doubt that there's not some discontent in her, because if you watched her at award shows over the years, then you know that basically Republicans bad has always been her main talking point. But uses Anna Navarro outside The View and CNN. CNN is about to lay off a bunch of employees, and I'm pretty sure that Anna's going to demand a lot of money. If she does not change her act real soon, she's obviously going to be gone as well, which then brings us to Sunny Hostin. All I'm going to say about Sunny Hostin is, who the hell would hire her? Seriously, who the hell would hire that venomous woman? Listen, Farrah Griffin, she'll probably get a job somewhere, but things are going to be very, very interesting, especially over the next 4 years when they actually bring on an actual pro-Trump voice, which I believe that they will do. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Sage Steele, seeing how it is that she's worked for ESPN, which of course falls under the purview of ABC and Disney. But we shall see. You guys tell me what you think in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you guys have got to say. There will be a third video being released tomorrow night. It'll be about this Trump dance Stephen A. Smith thing, and also not to mention the fact that he just put Bill Maher in his place because, once again, Bill Maher finds a way to contradict himself on his own podcast. We'll get to that here in a second because it looks like Stephen A. may be on a bit of a redemption arc. And also something else, too. I'm going to have my Gladiator 2 review out on Wednesday to go along with the video that I have planned explaining what's going to happen in 2025. And, of course, those type of holiday videos will, of course, be out when we get closer to Christmas. So make sure you guys stick around for all that there. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign up for the comments, and I'll see you guys later.